Nice. All right, so much for muting my phone. Well, all right, welcome everybody to podcast number 8. It's Durmanhoth clan on the Repop, and we are a little bit late. We ran late today. We had a clan meeting. I apologize for that. We always try to be on time, but things we definitely had things to discuss.
User joined your channel.
And I definitely got to close out. I'm seriously unprepared. We're trying to rush to get the show out on time, and it didn't quite work that way. We thought we'd started off with a little bit from Khan, who, actually introductions, my apologies. Have Leo. How you doing, Leo?
What's up?
Yeah. And Khan.
Hi.
Khan. And Kels.
Salut, mon amis.
Iris.
What's up, guys?
And we got my friend here, a special guest this week is Dan.
Hello.
And I just want to shout out to Bankwell. Apologize. I didn't see your message until like 2 seconds after I started the show. So we'll have to catch you next time. So let's go to Khan. Khan is part of the staff as well as a DC member, but he's part of the staff of the Repop, and he's a writer. And actually, something came up in the meeting of talking about writers, and I don't know exactly what the writers do. You know, I know someone who writes a book, a novel, or fan fiction, or an angry letter, those kind of things of writing. But I don't know, what does someone do when they write for the Repop?
You can either do one of two things or both. They have two different groups. One's dedicated to the mission writing, which is basically you write how the missions play out, you write the different scenarios, you write what you can do during a mission, and there's a lot of creativity in that. Especially with the amount of stuff that you can do in Repop. So if you have any sort of creative talent as towards storyline and that sort of thing, that'd be we're looking for more writers. The other group is the lore writing, which also leads into the storyline. That does a lot more with obviously lore, but as far as creativity, they do a lot with the storyline as far as the entirety of Repop, like how they got where they are now and what's going on with the different factions and such. But I recommend anyone watching the channel, if you have any kind of writing talent whatsoever, it's worth a shot. A lot of people find that they're way too busy to help out, so we don't have a lot of people who stay on. We're really looking forward to getting some new writers in.
So if I wanted to be a part of the Repop writing, how would I go about doing that?
I'm not really sure. No,
All right, good talk.
What you do is you see, because on the whatchamacallit, what's the word I'm looking for? The join our team form on the Repop page. There's no actual thing that says writing team, so you just kind of plug it in there, and you have to kind of look at the other option and just write in, I want to be a writer.
So it's kind of generic, but you put in there your talents, whether or not be a network engineer or a writer, and then they will pick up on that. Does that sound about right?
Yep.
So
there's a whole separate application process. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's right.
Yeah, it's kind of like a whole separate process. They kind of have you go through two different kind of things, sort of.
So that first part of it, or maybe the second type of writing, what's more of the traditional like narrative or storytelling? Is it that second one?
Yeah, that'd be lore. That's kind of like, oh well, you have to describe what happened in this area and what's going on there. What's happening to the NPCs. Obviously the mission writing that has a lot more to do with the actual missions and what happens to the player.
So did they give you some kind of baseline, like this is where we are, this is the lore currently, and you need to kind of insert this into this lore, like something like that? Or did they just say, all right, we need a story and just have at it?
It's a pretty close-knit team, and there's two leaders who have actually put a lot of time into one side and the other, so they kind of organize the whole thing. But if you're on the mission side of it, and most people are on both sides, so they try to get everybody to do a little bit of both, especially if you're pretty talented. But as far as that goes, it's kind of organized from the top down, but we work together, try to get the missions in one area done, and then move on, and same with the lore.
Well, how about missions exactly? Is it sort of like here's, would you write it like this? Would you write it like here's a paragraph, and now you got to put in A, B, C, and D. Here's the responses. Is it that kind of way?
I don't want to give away too much. I mean, if you're interested in writing, I would recommend just going to fill out the app.
Tell us about
to join. So
tell us about the first mission.
Giving away too much info already.
What happens when you first get into the game exactly? What's the best way to get all the loots?
What's that?
Yeah. What do you just pick C every time, and then you get all the experience points? No, I'm just
sure. Yeah.
Okay, well, it sounds...
Up, down.
It sounds very
I just
interesting.
need you to post some screenshots, okay?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
Next week's show, Con revealing all.
I have a question about the writing.
Okay.
Is it serious stuff, or do you guys actually have fun with it? Like, if I go
we
in
have
there
a lot of fun, yeah.
and read it, is it going to be stuff that I don't want to read?
What's that?
You go into a lot of these MMOs nowadays, and they take the quest so serious. Are you going to have fun with the quest, or are you just going to make it generic?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's so many scenarios that we wish we could even do on top of what we've already done, but I won't get into that too much. But it's definitely a very fun process, and we have a lot of good times with it.
Okay. Alright.
All right, well, anybody else got any writer-related questions? No. All right. Next thing we're talking about is the siege. There was a question by a forum member over at the Repop. He wanted to know exactly what these units are, what they produce in a siege. When you're sieging, you produce units, and he wanted to know exactly what that was. And Josh Halls responded with they are large siege-related units that will help to take down the energy grid. There probably will be other options that will be anti-personnel, as well as not to mention, however, you can bring with you people, vehicles, etc. So it looks like units would be large siege-related units to help take down energy grids. So what are we talking about here? Like bazookas or some kind of machine? I guess I wasn't quite clear on exactly what units would be. Anyone kind of gleam what that might be?
Well, yeah, I don't think... I read it too, and I didn't quite know what they were talking about. The first thing that came to my mind was possibly mount-related? Possibly some sort of vehicle with a weapon mount or something? Again, I don't know. I'm just speculating. That would be kind of cool. if you think about it. But yeah, I don't know what they're talking about, bazookas or what. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, so it's just a little bit of a tidbit on what it could be. So it wasn't specific, but I thought it was something worth mentioning anyhow.
Yeah, I don't know if they were trying to, maybe they're trying to preserve the element of surprise there, but they were pretty indecisive about it. There was nothing concrete there.
I guess
they didn't say what the weapon was or what it would be exactly, so there's just, some sort of siege unit. Catapult?
Yeah, that's a good question, because what kind of genre, I know it's a kind of a funny question for me to ask, but does it fall into like a modern warfare kind of setting, or is this a medieval, or is it futuristic? I can't even remember.
It's sci-fi, so it's futuristic, but with more of a settler type feel, I think.
Yeah, I agree with Leo. It is a sci-fi. It's basically the whole repopulation story, from what I gather, is they've abandoned one planet, and now we're there to ruin another planet. In saying that, I think that when they got there, they didn't have everything that they had at the original planet, except for knowledge. So basically, you're starting from the ground up. But we're not talking caveman stuff here. We do have knowledge and information and technology. So it's not going to be super advanced, but I don't believe it's going to be medieval either. So it'll be somewhere in between type of sci-fi.
Yeah, I think that comment right there that Josh posted might just be kind of, and I'm speculating a little bit here, is he doesn't want to rule out, all that they're thinking of doing in the sieges. So I mean, he just kind of put a generalized comment. What units will be used, and he just kind of said, well, this is what they'll be used for. I mean, he doesn't want to give out too much information until they really look into what in total can be used to take down the energy field in sieges and all that other stuff.
Yeah, and he mentions there'll probably be other options that will be anti-personnel. So it makes it sound like you whip out this pack, and all of a sudden you've constructed your siege, javelin or bazooka or whatever the case may be, but also you have other options of mowing down the enemy, anti-personnel, like a Gatling gun or something like that. It's versatile, I suppose, or maybe it's separate and different siege units that you get, and I assume that people actually will be creating those. Crafters will make those.
What would be interesting is maybe some kind of how can I explain this? Some kind of Scud APC type unit that takes multiple people to operate. So, like, you would have this vehicle, and it has the weapon technology to take down a energy field, but it, however, would require multiple guildmates. Anywhere between 3 and 7 would be good. That would be something that is very interesting to me, because then it would bring guilds together, kind of like in a platoonish type feeling to it. You have to work this, you have to work that. I'll work this mechanism, and together you guys could make it happen. And if you do it, it'd be a good feeling.
I think that'd be a great idea. There was a game called World War II Online that you could pilot an airplane or a tank or other vehicles with other people in it, and everyone had their different abilities they could do. Whether there's a pilot that would fly, and the bombardier that would bomb, and the spotter that would spot. So it was all different kind of cool things you could do as a group.
Yeah, kind of like Swig too with the ships.
I hope if they do that, it's more like a Titan from Battlefield 2142.
How'd that
If
go?
anybody's played that.
That was good.
Yeah, those are fun games.
How did that work?
It's pretty much an airship that one person can move over the battlefield, and there's 4 or 5 turrets on it, and it has a hangar. So it's kind of like a tactical outpost type thing. Command ship. Yeah, we'll show you later.
Dan, what do you think units would be?
EMPs.
EMPs?
EMPs, you're going to take it on a grid.
Define EMP.
Electrical malfunctioning unit.
Okay. All right. If any developers are listening, there you go. You got your
Blow it up.
units. All right. Let's talk about exploits. Someone at the Repopulation posted this. He said, "Do keep in mind, though, that veteran MMO players, especially the PvPers amongst us, will find even the slightest exploitable part of it." Speaking about sieges again. Now, J.C. Smith came back with the hope would be that in testing you would find most of those, but sometimes they slip through because guilds want to exploit them in launch and don't report them. And the original poster came back with, by the way, I don't mean exploiting as in cheating, I mean exploiting the intended mechanics. So that he was actually not talking about actual cheating. He was talking about using intended mechanics, and that got me thinking about past games, and I thought this would be an interesting topic. So trying to look up what exactly does exploit mean. The best I can come up with as far as MMOs or games is exploit is to take advantage in a manner not intended by the game designers. Does that sound like a reasonable explanation or a definition of exploit?
Yeah.
And we know that things like third-party software like speed hacking is an obvious violation. That's something that shouldn't be tolerated in a game, because it definitely is inserting an application into the game that was definitely not intended. But I got to thinking about other games such as or other exploits, I guess would be a definition of it. Like, for example, something that it takes advantage of broken game mechanics. So that's not you adding something to your computer to give you an edge, but actually taking advantage of something in a game. I have an image up right there now that is the infamous Diablo gold item duping. It was something that it gave you the ability to manipulate. It was a glitch, and you could duplicate gold in items. And so it was almost like, and I believe Diablo, was it not a single player game?
Multiplayer too.
Oh, was it? And I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember if that was in the multiplayer or if it was in single player. But I do remember seeing that way back then, and someone would go and duplicate this in gold and stuff like that, and it actually, I believe, probably ruined the game for some people, because you ended up, it was like playing in God mode, which is fun for about 5 minutes, and then, why bother? That kind of thing. But and I'm kind of going up the tree here as far as what's bad, what's an exploit, and now we're getting into something where the topic kind of, or the blame, I guess, shifts between the player and the developer. So in UO, back when they came up with another, I think it was an expansion, and the way they hooked up those expansions was you could travel through the tunnel or something like that, and then you're in this other game, provided you bought the game or bought the expansion. And so it was still all online, and everyone was still there. You just happened to be in a different region. It was almost kind of like an instance. But this was in regards to cotton. In the new world, the cotton was more available than the old. And I don't remember. Does anyone remember the UO price of cotton? Was that something that was player driven, or was that static?
I don't remember cotton at all.
You don't remember cotton at all? I remember this specifically because I'm in a new world, and people would be like a mule train between this one area back to the old world, and then I discovered that they were picking the cotton and bringing it back to the old world and selling it for a lot of money and getting a lot of gold. They outlawed this to pick cotton in the new world, and the way they prevented people from picking it was they coded in a sign that says "Do not pick the cotton." That's how they were stopping people. I believe they were actually banning people if they caught them taking it from one area and bringing it to the other. And another example, and something you guys might be more familiar with, is in SWG. Back when it first started, they had something called City Warn. This was the ability, once you had a city and you created a militia, and you were a mayor and you created this militia, people would have the ability to warn other people that were within the city limits with a /city warn, and that would give them a countdown of like 10 seconds or whatever that said you need to get out of the city or you're going to become red or attackable. And I thought it was the best thing because it that game, in order to PvP, you had to be overt, and you would have to go out and find somebody. But if, let's say, a known rebel came to your town and you didn't want them to be in your town, this feature of City Warn, you could, even if they were not overt, because if they're not overt, you can't attack them. You could give them City Warn, and it would give them a countdown and give them a fair chance to get out of town. And if they did not leave the city limits, then you could attack them and kill them. You and your buddies on the militia, the law basically in the town. Now they decided to get rid of that because some people took a city and built it around a point of interest or something that is needed in the game. So basically they took advantage of the feature and used it to their advantage as far as preventing people from visiting the Luke's home world or whatever. And instead of, my problem with that was instead of like preventing, writing some code that says around a point of interest or around a spawn that people need to build whatever, these are static areas in the game. Instead of putting some code in there that says you can't build a city here, they actually just removed City Warn altogether. They took it out of the game. So I thought so what I'm getting at here is, who's responsible for this kind of thing? Is it a player who takes advantage of an intended mechanic, as our original poster said, but used it in out-of-box way of thinking? Granted, why would someone want to keep someone from a point of interest unless they're trying to be a dick? So I understand that, but the point is who's at fault there? Is it the player or the developer?
The player, 100%. Because the developer will put it in thinking it's a cool idea, and it does sound like a cool idea, but when you abuse something like that, it's no longer cool.
So instead of...
Yeah. When you say at fault, I'm going to go with Theo and say the player. In regards to who's responsible, it would be the developer. It's their responsibility to have a product that works, of course, the way they intend it to work. Now, if a player comes along and finds something, like, say, an aim bot or something that they can exploit, it's not really their fault, although they shouldn't be doing it. It's up to the developer to prevent that. from continuing.
Well, let me put it this way then. Or I guess I should say, when do you cross the line between tactics and the realm of exploiting? Meaning, to put it in simplest terms I can think of is in tic-tac-toe. You guys all played tic-tac-toe, I'm sure. It's pretty simple. One person goes first, and one's an X, one's an O. You get 3 in a row, you win. Now there is a way, if you go first, that you can manipulate the character, if they're not aware, to always win. You can place your X's or O's in a certain pattern, and this would force the opposing player to react to your moves, and then eventually at the end of the game you win. Now, just because if I have that knowledge, or if I have this tactic, do you think I am exploiting?
Yes. And it's up to the developer of tic-tac-toe to make sure the second round is done by a different player, or alternate the turns. So again, it would be up to the developer to make sure that that's not repeatable, that it does not continue. Because then, let's face it, the game's not fun, right?
And you're talking about playing against a computer in that instance.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Not some stupid player.
Even if there's a rule, the second player gets to go first, and you alternate each turn.
Well, how about if someone is just a tactical genius and they happen to be on our clan, and they inform us every time, this is how you win this particular battle, whatever game we're playing. Is that an exploit?
No.
No.
But isn't that the same thing as someone who knows a trick to something? Or is that just simply having good tactics?
If they're using just the tactic itself, then it's not an exploit. I mean, it's the way that things are supposed to be played out. Now, it's very different if it just gives an insurmountable advantage, and there's no way for the opposing team to win now if we cap a certain point or something. Let's just say whatever the tactic is, then it's not working as intended because you have something that just automatically wins you the match or whatever it happens to be. So, I mean, that would be up to the developers to fix that.
I think I have a better example of an exploit. I'm going to go back to 2142. This is a pretty nasty exploit. With friendly fire, if it was turned off, nothing you were in or none of your friends got hurt. So people would get in jeeps and then plant the explosives on the hood of the car and just drive through people and blow everything up. And they would do it again and again and again, and they would never get hurt. That's an exploit. That's taking game mechanics and using it in an unfair advantage. Because you go in, you run somebody over, get out quick, and blow everybody up. There's really not much you can do for that unless you have a big, bad tank or something.
Well, I guess the question would be, why is that unfair? Couldn't they do the same thing to you?
I'm going to jump in there, Leo. So basically what you're saying is if both sides are exploiting, does that make it fair? The answer to that is no. Anybody that's using something in a game mechanic that is not intended is an exploit. So like what Leo was saying, and I've seen it many times, people will get in a Jeep, they'll drive 80 miles an hour, jump out, Jeep will still be going, there's C4 on it, and they'll hit the button, takes out 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 people. That's an exploit. The game's not supposed to be played that way. So they're using the game mechanics. Go ahead, Myers.
That happens in real life, though.
Well, it's a game. Everybody's supposed to have fun, not in real life.
But if you're able to do that, though, that's not an exploit. If you can literally put the bomb on the truck like that, it's not an exploit.
Yeah, that's pretty sure.
That's something in the code.
Yeah, I agree with Cyrus.
If both parties can do it, then shame on everybody. patch it, and then you go about the game.
I agree with that. Now, it's different if you have, and there's a cat licking his finger. Okay. I think it's a little different, though, if you, say, wire the bomb to the Jeep, you jump off the side of a cliff, you don't take any damage whatsoever, but everybody else dies. Now, that sounds like an exploit to me because that doesn't sound like it's working as it's intended to. Now, if you wire a bomb to a Jeep, you drive it into a bunch of people, they're too dumb to move out of the way, or they just happen to be standing there and they all blow up. Well, that's how the game's supposed to work. So, I don't know, what else you could do as a developer to kind of do away with that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's just a coding issue, because if my character was only able to do it because my character is somehow glitched, then that's an exploit. If you can't do it but I can, that would be an exploit on my part. I'm exploiting the system because I'm able to do that, but you can't do the same thing.
Yes.
So I'm better than you.
Well, here might be the... We'll see. No, here's the dividing line, I think, maybe, and see if you guys agree with this. If we'll take the Jeep out of the equation, let's say I strap sticky bombs to myself and I run into a group and explode, and since I don't have any friendly fire, it's unfair. Whereas if friendly fire is on and I have sticky bombs on me and I run into a group and explode, even though it's as far as in the real world a political bad thing, but it is a tactic. So is that the dividing line? If there's some risk to me or no risk to me?
Well, I think that...
Go ahead.
I think the thing is there's a fine line between an actual exploit and something that is just a poor mechanic and needs to be taken out of the game. You can have the Jeep that kills everybody, but it's only when your character has a certain skill or something. Now that's kind of an exploit, I guess. Or it's just working as intended, but it's making the game unfun now. So that's kind of the difference there. Having something.
That's where I was going to go. Places con. There's different levels of exploiting. There's the Jeep one where it's working as intended. It's just not right. It's, again, making it unfun. There's other exploits that require third-party software. It might give you an advantage like aimbotting, stuff like that. Then you'd have other types of exploiting, like we spoke of in, I think it was episode 7, where you can stand in a doorway and stuff like that. What was that? Collision exploits. And then, of course, you have alternate exploiting like tactics, which, again, like Nyrus was saying, it's if you can do it, then that's fine. You're not really cheating. It's just more of you're good at tactics. So I think there's different levels of exploiting. The ones that they're trying to identify are ones that give you an unfair advantage that other people don't have. That's the ones I think they're going to focus on. The game operating in a way that it's not intended or not fair.
Yeah, I'm sure. But how about this? Let's say you're playing Star Wars Galaxies and you have a base and you've laid down your base. Now you want to protect your base and you take your houses that ironically certain type of houses can be put together and form a circle or a wagon train around it, and you have one entrance in, one entrance out. Is that exploiting? Or is that just smart?
I wouldn't say so.
That's good city planning.
It's just house placement.
Now how about...
Yes and no for me.
How about...
I'm for any type of advantage. That's I'll leave mine at that, my opinion. Any advantage you can get.
How about the opposing team seeing your base surrounded by houses, doesn't want to enter through the only entrance, and they discover that they can clip through underneath the houses?
That means we can do the same thing to them. That's great.
So is the responsibility to fix these issues with the banning? Should they, in other words, should they ban players for this, or should they fix the code?
I don't
No,
really
it's-
anybody.
No.
another way of looking at it is they're actually helping them out finding it. So
Right. Okay. All right. Well, there's exploit talk. Do you guys have other examples? Because this is a fascinating subject to me. It really, with Star Wars Galaxy and the City Warren, like I said, I understand that, the people are kind of being jerks about keeping people away from points of interest in key areas. But I really like City Warren, and I was really mad that they took it out. They didn't bother to fix it. But you guys have any other examples like that in a game that really ticked you off, that stuff like that happened? Or even an exploit that happened to you?
For more recently, I never liked in Battlefield 3 on Metro. You get to the stairs and everybody's just chucking grenades at each other.
It was just an area where people just knew that others are going to be, so they blindly throw their grenades.
Well, it's a bottleneck area. So what everybody does is they get the ammo resupply people out, and they just chuck grenades up and down the stairs, and just it never goes anywhere.
Yeah, and see, me personally, if I was a developer, I'd say, well, that's good thinking, but it's actually preventing what I want things to happen here. I want people to progress or have a chance to progress. If they have no ability to get beyond that, then redesign the stairs, or prevent grenades from bouncing that far, whatever the case may be. So something developers should do to improve the situation, not ban people for doing it.
no.
Exploiting is fun, though.
I like discovering different ways of accomplishing a goal.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm gonna say.
I just want to make Mario jump higher.
So when you played Nintendo, you found some kind of exploit.
Just want to make Mario jump higher.
You're kind of dating yourself, Dan, my friend. All right. Well, let's. Anybody else want to talk about that? Exploits.
No, other than if you do find an exploit, the best thing to do, instead of tucking it away for later, and thinking you can grow upon it, I would report it. I
agree. Anything, and that's a good point you bring up there.
That's the corporate answer.
Well, if and that's the thing. If let's say, for example, I'm still, about the whole exploit and not exploit, but if everybody knows about something and the developers have no intention of fixing it, fine. All right, then it's just the way it is. Like the grenades. I'm sure that game you're talking about, Leo, everybody knows that if you stand at the end of the stairs and you're going to get a grenade in your face, and anyone that stands there, you're like noob, right? So if everybody knows it, then all right, fine. But if they don't want to fix it, that's fine too. But if the developers, which the repopulation definitely seems to be interested in fixing these kind of things. And if people report that, then it'll get fixed. If it's something that they didn't intend, then it shouldn't be part of the game, and then people should report it, and then it'll be fixed, and there won't be an issue there. That sound reasonable?
Yeah, it does. And plus, people will respect you as a gamer. If you know somebody that's exploiting, they're getting an advantage in a way that's not natural or intended. Well, it's obvious. It's not from your skill. It's because you're exploiting. So, you kind of just, I don't respect that. If you get ahead in the game because of hard work and skill, knowledge, that's respectable. But other than that, no. Look at Nyrus over there smiling. Whatever, Kelvin.
Yeah, Time does not speak for all of us.
It's a nice story, Kels.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
If we discover during sieges that if you take Wolf and stab him in the back and he dies on this lever, and that immediately wins the game, for you, or the siege, that won't be fun for me, or for you guys or anybody, because it's something that needs to be fixed. It's a glitch, right? So, or even if someone comes up with a tactic like, all right, when we put this unit here and this unit here in combination, and that doorway you guys cover, and all of a sudden it becomes, this is the best way to siege this place, and it becomes just like a machine, like do A, B, and C, and D. Then it's not fun. There's no spontaneity there. It becomes boring, and I think then a developer would look at that and say, well, let's fix that. Let's tweak it a little bit. It kind of, I'm sorry, go ahead. It kind of reminds me of PvE. Not to get down on PvE, but a lot of times when people go to playing player versus environment, I'm talking about here, Dan. But that, people need to kill this monster. They don't know how. They go on YouTube and they look and say, all right, you stand here, you go here, you do a firebolt, and you heal this guy, and then you win. That's what makes PvE so boring. Not to make fun of PvE, but that or insinuate that PvE is exploiting. But I like sieges where things are up in the area. I also like the ability to think on your feet.
PvE, I'm not familiar with that term.
It's something I read on the YouTubes.
Airburster.
Lightning bolt.
Okay. Let's talk about the halftime show for a second here. This is this person right here, George Harrison, is AKA COSA DC member, and he did at one time he was actually in 2 different movies. He had a part in a different movie. You can look him up on the internet to see if you want. But he was in a movie that was called Sugartown, and this was what's the movie equivalent of Independent? Is it Independent?
Sure.
You know what I'm talking about?
They call it indie.
Indie films. Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. It was presented there, and this was shot out in Las Vegas, or close to Las Vegas, I believe, out in the desert area. And the deal with this thing was it was only 15 minutes long, and it was all done in a single shoot. And George told me a little bit about this movie, and actually they had a fundraiser, or gosh, my brain is frying out here. The same thing that Repop had as far as getting money. What am I trying to think
Donation.
of? Yeah, what's the
Crowdsourced or crowdfunded.
No, there's a term. What's the term for it? Oh my God, I can't think of that.
So they were just trying to raise money, right?
Yeah, they raise money, just like in the Repop. You go there and you pay money.
Crowdsourced.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
crowdfunded, crowdsourced.
For investors?
No, for regular people. A jumpstart? Is that right?
Kickstart, Jumpstart.
Kickstart. Anyway, they did that. I probably should have wrote that down. And they got some money for it, and they went out and shot this. And George played the part of deputy. What was it? Was it Barney? No.
Barney.
He played Deputy Barney, and he had a bullet in his pocket. No, it was Deputy Peck, as you can see in this little shot here. But I thought I actually have the DVD myself, and I will show you just the parts that George are in. And so let's take a look at that.
I have orders to get this package to the Colonel. What package, son? The package the Colonel ordered my team to deliver to Romani. What team, son? wants to talk to you, Donnie. What's the word on Taylor? He's dead, Sheriff. My Colt killed him. God damn it.
Please don't hurt my husband, Sam.
Sheriff, Jack's all set. Since he's got a shot, you just give him the word.
Donnie! Donnie, baby!
Whoa, whoa. Put the gun down, son. Put the gun down.
Please, baby, just put it down.
What are you doing over here, baby?
We're in Barstow, honey.
Tell him you got his meds. I gotta get this fucking package to the Colonel.
There are people here that want to help you, Donnie. People who care about you.
You gotta stay back, sir. Sheriff, you don't drop that gun in 10 seconds, I'm blowing that motherfucker's head off.
No!
It is what it is, lady. Ain't nobody doing nothing unless I say so. What you got in that there package, son? I show you. You give me the Ramadi. Goddamn right, Marine. What's in the fucking bag? Was I cul-de-sac? Repulsion in the red room. Okay. Put the weapon down. I return the video, Sheriff. Son, that cop you shot, he died. Now put the gun down, get on the ground. We're gonna take you home.
Don't try, baby. I love you so much.
All the fucking way. All right, slow.
I'm coming to you, baby.
Stay there. Sarah, Sarah, you stay there. Don't you come here.
Baby, it's okay. It's okay.
Please, baby,
It's
no.
okay, baby. Everything's gonna be fine.
Sarah, stay back.
Baby? Baby, what are you doing?
It is what it is, lady. Thanks, guys, on Twitch. It's Kickstarter is the word of the day. Who wins the prize? Who got that first? I think it was Darsh. Anyway, that's. I guess I wanted to show this to kind of give an example of the diversity and the talent that we got in DC. We got actors, artists, writers, and that kind of leads me into DC News. But I guess I should say that also you can certainly go to the address there that you've seen at that in the halftime show, and I believe you can probably get yourself a copy of that if you wish, if they're still selling them. But that was quite a few years ago. So, what do you guys got going on in the clan? Anything?
Iris, you're up.
Iris?
Well,
No?
myself, I'm just working on the app. I've been working on it for 2 years. I've made a lot of progress with it. I hope to launch it, not publicly, but internally within the next couple of months. I'll probably post it on our website for everybody with an Android device. They can just download the APK file, put it on their phone, test it out. It's kind of like a beta, I guess, at that point. And after that, it will go live on the Android market for everyone to download. So I'm excited about that. It's going to have some pretty neat features. One of the features will be all the old games that DC has played is going to be on there. You can access that. Our public information, everything about DC. There's going to be a live chat. So if you're on the road, you can post a message directly to our website. You know, if we're having a big raid and you're stuck in traffic, you can just, boom, stuck in traffic, be there 15 minutes, people will know. It'll kind of bring the clan closer together in our real life. So I think it'd be good.
Okay. Leo, you got anything guild related or anything like that?
It's quiet at night. We need more nighttime players.
More Europeans.
Or,
Join us.
Or Europeans. Con? Any guild things going on for you?
What? No.
No?
What's going on? I'm late to the Swig Emu party, but I'm getting set up with that soon, so that's pretty much it.
Oh, sorry. Con? You were still talking? You were talking. I'm sorry, I cut you right off. What were you saying? Something about
nothing important.
Something about an emu party or something like that.
I said I was getting late to the Swig Emu party, but I'm looking to get set up with that so I can play. That's about it.
Nairis? Nothing?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Any guild things that you can think of that you might want to talk about?
Not really. I've been away the last couple of days, so I know everyone's been hardcore with the EMU and getting that other city up off the ground, so everyone seems to be full bore into it. Got a handful of new members, so things seem to be moving pretty fast in a slow time for us, so that's good.
Well, I have been not playing as much as I would like because I've been busy doing other things. Have we gotten into the point where we're doing a PvP in SWG?
A lot of people are still all over the place with that. That's a ways off, at least for me.
And I know we got two cities. The last time I visited, there was a huge rebel or imperial presence in the city. As far as NPCs standing around, AT-AT, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah, they're just standing there. Are we paying those guys or what?
It's
standing there,
slaves.
Forming a line.
Slaves.
Volunteers.
Yeah.
Good job, man.
All right. Well, so we're at the end of the show. Kels, you did such a good job last time in giving out the domains. You want to do that again? I got one little domain to add.
Absolutely. If you want to check out the game we're speaking of today, it is therepopulation.com. If you would like to learn more about the guild, it's Durmanhothclan.com. Also, check out our app on the Android market. Other than that, I hope you all have a great day.
Yeah, and I added one additional domain. It's www.dctv.biz. This is I'm handling that as like the production area. So stick to where you are now as far as repopulation information. But the other one is going to be all over the place as far as different things that you can talk about and watch. And that's about it. You guys got anything else you want to add before we go?
That's all 9 people watching. You can follow me on Twitter at NairisDC.
I would wager that 10 of those 9 people are following you.
Actually, I'm one of the viewers, so all 8 of you.
You post nudies?
Okay. All right. Appreciate everyone watching, and next week we'll be hopefully on. Well, actually, I'm glad I mentioned next week. Next week we're not going to be on at all. I am on vacation, and so if you guys are following us, don't bother tuning in tomorrow or next Saturday at 9 because we won't be there. But the following week after that, we will definitely be back on the air. I will probably try and get something up on YouTube just to cover, perhaps maybe something related to my vacation, but maybe not, since this is definitely more about the repop. So again, next week we won't be here, but the following week, 2 weeks from now, we will be back. Okay, I appreciate you guys hanging in there and sticking out a little bit later than normal, and we'll catch you later in the post show.
Thanks, Wolf.
Thanks, Wolf.
Go Wolf.
Night, Wolf.
Come on, you guys know you want to talk over this.
Exorcist.
What the fuck?
You've never heard the end of the show before.
I don't want to be part of it, actually.
Podcast.
This is the first time you guys ever listened to the end of the show. That's the angry
That's why
German
we
guy.
fucking 9 people in here.
Hey, this is a real good show until they at the end. All right, I'll talk to you in a little bit.
All right.